What do you mean by a function? Any idea? Okay. See, function means, guys, to perform the specific task, we create, okay, a sample code or maybe a particular code which will reduce the work, which will reduce the repetitive code. No need to write the duplicate code. We will just call that particular function and we will give some input, and on the basis of those inputs, that function will return something to you. I'll give you an example. Functions are just like factories, right? In factory, we pass something and we get something, right? So let's see, one Nike factory is there, Reebok factory is there. Okay, I'll pass something and I'm getting some good Nike t-shirt or Nike shoes or Nike cap, right? Same thing. Functions are like just factories, but there are three types of factories. That one factory is there that you don't give anything and this factory will not return anything. Okay. Second type of factory is that you don't give anything but still it's giving you some output, it's returning something. Third type of factory is that you pass some raw material and this factory will give you something. Okay, some product it will give you, it will return something. Same thing in functions also, guys. Functions and methods both are same thing. In some programming language we call functions, in some we call methods. So functions and methods both are same thing actually, both are synonyms. So how to create a function, what is the purpose of function, what are the different types of functions are available. Okay, what do you mean by system defined function or user defined functions? Today we will discuss about it. Okay, it's a very important topic for Java point of view. So let me create a class. And the class name is functions in Java. Select the main method and click on finish. Okay, so main is also a function, main is also a method. Okay, so main method is also a method, main is a function, and function is, it's having its own method body. Okay, method is having its own function body or method body, starting here and ending here. And always remember, I cannot create a function inside a function, I cannot create a method inside a method, right? So inside this particular main method, I'm not going to create any method. So whenever I have to create a new method or new function, I have to create out of the main method, right? So main method is, okay, getting ended over here, so I have to create my function out of the main method. So how to do that? Function, whenever you have to create a new function, you can give any name. Okay, A B C D, your name, my name, whatever the name you want to give, you can give any function name. So let's see my public my function, I'll start with public void. Okay, always start with public void and give some function name. Let's see, my function name is test function, and after that these two brackets are compulsory. It denotes that, okay, this is a function, and then starting body and ending body. So I have created a small function, public void test function I have created, right? So there are three types of functions. So this is the first type of function, that no input and no output. It means I'm not giving anything and not getting, okay, anything over here. I'm not passing anything in this particular function and I'm not getting anything over here. Okay, no input and no output. I'll go to I'll go inside this function. I'll simple print system.out.println test method. Simple, I'm printing like this. So this is the first type of, okay, function, that it does not return anything. What do you mean by return? Means I'm not writing any return statement over here. Okay, in this particular function, I'm not writing anything, I'm not returning anything, I'm just printing on the console. This is not output. Okay, I'm not returning anything. Here, what do you mean by no output? No output means no return. This function does not have any return statement. Okay, I'll tell you what is return statement. So the problem with function is, in this particular function, this function is void. Void means it does not return any value. Okay, void means it does not return any value. And simple public void test I have written like this. Okay, now second type of function is that no input, and some output. Okay, no input but some output. So how to create that kind of function? Simple, create again public void. Let's see, my function name is pqr. Okay, or instead of pqr, let's say I'll give function name is sum. I'm not passing anything in this particular function. Let's say I'm printing system, the function name is sum method, and what I'm gonna do, let's say I create a variable int a is equal to 10, int b is equal to 20, and what I'll write, int c is equal to a plus b. Okay, so a 10, b 20, c will become 30. What I want this function should return c. So what we have to do, we have to write a return statement over here, return. And what do you want to return from this particular function? I want to return c. Return c. Okay, public void sum a 10, b 20, c is equal to 30, and return c. Okay, so the problem here is it's giving you error. Why? Because some function is returning c, this particular function is returning c, but you have written void, and void means it should not return any value. Void means a particular function is returned with void. It means this function cannot return anything, right? With this test function we have written void. It means this function cannot return anything. I have written sum is returning void. I mean sum is declared with void, and sum is returning c also. So both are contradictory. So what I have to do, I have to remove this void from here. And what should I write? I should write what exactly this function is returning. This function is returning c. And c is what? C is integer. So I have to write int over here. Okay. So I can say that some function is returning what? Some function is returning c, and c is integer type. So what is a return type? Return type of this function is integer. What is the return type of this function is void. It means it does not return any value. So why main method is always void? Because we never write, okay, we never write return statement inside the main method, because main method is always void. That's as per the design in Java. Main method is always void because it does not return any value. Okay, another example of second type of function, no input some output. Let's say I'm creating public void pqr function, system.out.println. I'm just, let's say, printing pqr method, and I'm creating one string. Let's say string s is equal to selenium, and I'm writing return s. I want this function should return s, but again this is void, so I have to remove this void. And what should I write? I have to check this function is returning s, and s is what? String. So this function should return string over here. Now the error is gone. So always remember, the return type of method, the return type of any function, it depends what exactly it is returning. So sum is returning C. C is integer. I have to write int over here. PQR is returning S. S is a string. I have to write string over here. Test method is not returning anything. No return statement. It means void I have to write. If no return statement, it means we have to write void. Is this clear? Okay. Krishna?
Yes, Naveen. Yeah.
Bhaja? Cool. So third type of function is some input and some output. That I'll give some input that particular function and I'll get something okay from this particular function. So let's see, I have written public void division function, right? And what I want, this function is starting body and ending body, right? This I want to give some input. So how to provide input to any function? Let's say I want to give two inputs, int x comma int y, like this. Int x comma int y. It means I'm passing two input parameters. These are called input parameters. Int x comma separated int y. And you have to give, if you pass x and y, you have to provide what kind of data it is. It is integer type. So int x comma int y, right? And let's say I'll print system.println. Function name is div method. And what I'm gonna do, let's say int z is equal to x divided by y. And what I want to return z. Again, I have to remove void. And what should I write? What should I write, Krishna? Instead of void.
In integer. Int.
Int, right? Because this is returning
Yeah.
z and z is int. So I have to write int over here. Right? Now, let's do one more example of third type of function. Let's see, I have written public void and my method name is, let's see, my method name is send mail. You can give any method name. And let's see, I'm passing something int, okay, p comma string q, right? So I can pass any parameter. Int p comma string q. I'm print, let's see, system.out.println. I'm printing send mail method. And what I'm gonna do, I'm creating one more string. Let's see, a string h is equal to q plus p, right? And what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna return h. So what should I write instead of void?
String.
String, because it's returning h and h is a string, so I have to write a string over there. Okay, so this is a method. So many methods I've created, right? So how many methods we have in this particular class? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 plus main is also a method, so 6 methods are there in this class. Okay, so always remember why main method is void. Main method is void because inside the main method we never write return statement. So void and return statement both are contradictory. I cannot write a return statement with void. Okay, so this sum function is returning C and C is integer type, so I have to write int over here. PQR is returning S, S is a string type, I have to write a string over here. Diff function is returning Z, Z is integer, I have to write int over here. SendMail function is returning H, H is a string type, I have to write a string over here. So whatever it's returning, same thing you have to write it over there. Okay, now if you run this program, what should be the output? If you run this program, what should be the output?
Um, no, It will compile, but it won't give any output.
Why?
Because Java execution starts from the main method, but these methods we wrote out of the main method. And we haven't, we are not calling the methods inside the main method.
Okay. Now see, if you run this program, what exactly it will do? Immediately it will see where is the main method. It will check, okay, here is the main method. It will come inside the main method and nothing is written over here. It will come out of the main method and the program is over. It will not jump into test and other methods. Why? Because we have just declared these methods, we have declared these factories, but we are not calling them. To access any method, we have to call them. Then only we can do that. But main method, the property of main method is it will be auto called. It will be auto executed by JVM, by Java. The first time Java will see that, okay, where is the main method? So Java will execute this main method by default. Always remember. But same thing does not apply on the other methods that, okay, test function will not be called directly. Okay. So what we have to do? To do this thing, what we have to do? We have to create an object of this particular class. Okay, we have to create the object of this class. So how to create the object? So I'll create the object of this particular class inside the main method. So how to create the object? So create the object, we have to use new keyword. Okay, so now the syntax of creating the object is, first you have to write the class name. So what is my class name? Functions in Java. Whatever the class name you have, functions in Java, and just before that write new. And I have created one object like this, new functions in Java, and these two brackets. This is not method, guys. Okay, simple, write new and class name and bracket. So I have created one function. Okay, I have created one functions. I have created one object of this particular class. Okay, now new functions in Java I have created. So one object will be created in the memory. So how exactly it will be like this? The moment you write like this, one object will be created over here like this. Okay, so this object will be created inside the memory, but there is no name of this particular object, right? It's a newborn baby. Let's see, newborn baby is there, but there is no name, right? So we have to give some name, right? We have to give some name. Let's see, the name is OB or OBJ or whatever the name you want to give. So how to give the name of any object? So what you have to do, just because of this particular line, new functions in Java, okay, this object will be created without any name. Just like I have what is object? My body is the object. Okay, but what is this body name? Body name is Naveen, right? Same thing over here in Java also, we will create an object, but we have to give some name to that particular object, right? So Naveen is not the object. Naveen is the object name. Krishna is not the object. Krishna is the object name. Your body is represented by your name, right? Same thing in Java also, object is always represented by or referred by some name. We have to provide some name for particular object, right? So how to give that name? So you have to write like this, functions in Java, give some name, let's see, obj is equal to this line. So this is a proper syntax of creating the object, and you can create n number of objects of that particular class. Functions in Java, obj is equal to new functions in Java. Okay, so in this particular line, this is called obj. The right hand side line is called obj. Right hand side line is called object, not obj, sorry. This is called object, and this object is referred by obj. Okay, and this is the class name. So the syntax is class name, give some name, any name, A, B, C, D, whatever the name you want to give, the object name is equal to new functions in Java. This is called object. The right hand side line is called object, and the left hand side we are giving some name. Okay, so obj is the name. Always remember, obj is not the object, guys. Most of the people say that, okay, obj is the object. No, obj is not the object. Okay, now with this particular obj, what will happen inside the memory? So what will happen, I'll show you. Very important thing. The moment you write this particular line, right, you're creating the object. So what will happen? One object will be created inside the memory. This is the object, right? And all the methods, how many methods we have? Test, sum, pqr, div, send, mail method. All the methods will be given to this particular object immediately. One copy of all the methods will be given to this object. So we have test method, we have div, we have pqr method, okay, we have sum method, we have send mail method. All the methods, one copy of all the method will be given to this guy, and this guy is represented by obj. The right reference name is obj. Object reference name is obj, right? So this is just like a newborn baby. We have provided all the features, right? Okay, now the baby can walk, baby can run, baby can sleep, baby can eat, baby can breathe. Same thing, obj.test, obj.div, obj.pqr, obj.sum, obj.sendMail. So these functions are the properties of this particular object. If you want, Naveen, please write the code. So okay, we will say, Naveen, please write the code, Naveen, please walk, please run, right? So you have to use my name for that, right? You have to order me to do this thing. Same thing in Java also, we have to use object name. Okay, object name is whatever the object name. Here object name is obj. To perform any, to call any method, we have to use obj. obj.test, obj.div, like this. Okay, so always remember one thing, this obj is what? Obj is the reference name, object reference name. Okay, and this is the object. New functions in Java is the object, which is represented by obj. Okay, now I want to call test method. So simple, I'll use obj.test. obj.test. But always remember one thing, this main method will not be given to this object. Why? Because main method is static in nature. I'll tell you what is static later. So object cannot hold any static methods. Okay, object will store only and only non-static. Non-static means without a static keyword. I haven't written any static keyword over here. So object will store only and only non-static methods and functions. Object cannot hold any static method, right? So simple, I'll call obj.test. The moment I write obj.test, it will jump over here, it will come inside the test function, it will print this on the console, and again this method is over, it will come over here, and main method is over, and the program is over. So if you run this program, see, you are getting test method is getting called, right? The obj.test, it will come over here, it will print, and then program is over, right? Now we have to call some method. So simple obj dot sum. So obj dot sum, again it will jump over here inside the sum method, and then sum method will be printed a10 b20 c is equal to 30. right? C is 30 and return C. C means 30. So 30 will be returned. So where exactly it will be returned? It will be returned back to obj.sum, right? So C will be given back to obj.sum. So what is the value of obj.sum? 30, right? C is 30, return C. C will be given back to obj.sum. And what will be the value of obj.sum now? 30. And can I store like this? Int D is equal to this. This 30 will be given back to D, right? So if you see the mouse over on sum is returning integer. Okay, the first thing is written over here, integer. This is an integer return type. It means I have to store in some integer variable, right? And then I print system.out.println the value of D is. So what will happen? Again, it will jump over here. It will print some method. It will do this logic. C will become 30. Return C. C is 30. 30 will be given back to obj.sum. Now this 30 will be given to D now. D will become 30. It will print 30 over here. See, some method is printing because of this line. Return C. C will be given to this. C will be given to D. And I'm printing D. D is 30. Right? Now next method is PQR method. So I'll call PQR method now. obj.pqr. Again, PQR method, it will jump to PQR method. Come inside the PQR method, it will print PQR method. Then string S is equal to selenium. Okay, and return S. So selenium will be given back to obj.pqr, right? Will be given back to obj.pqr. So what will be the value of obj.pqr? Selenium. And I know that selenium is a string. So I have to store in some string variable. Let's see, string S1 is equal to this. So what will be the value of S1? S1 will be selenium, right? And if you mouse over on PQR also, you can see that, okay, it's returning string. So I have to store in some string variable. And then simple system.out.println, I'll print S1. So what should it, okay, give you the output? Output is S1, selenium, okay? S equal to selenium, return S, S will be given back to obj.pqr. So what will be the value of obj.pqr? Selenium. Selenium will be given back to S1. S1 will become selenium, and I'm printing on the console. Simple. See, PQR method is printing because of this line. S will be given back to this to S1. S1 will become selenium, and I'm printing S1. Selenium is printing over here. Right? Now, the next method is div method. Right? So I'll call this particular div method. So how to call div method? Simple. obj.div. But in obj.div, we have to pass two parameters, x comma y. So how to pass two parameters, x comma y? So let's see, I'm passing 30 comma 10. 30 comma 10 I'm passing. Okay. Now what will happen? It will directly jump over here inside a div method. So it's one-to-one mapping. 30 will be given to x and 10 will be given to y. So x is equal to 30 now and y is equal to 10. Again it's printing div method. Z is equal to x divided by y. So z will become 3. Z will become 3, right? 30 divided by 10 is equal to 3. So return z. 3 will be given back to obj.div. And I know that div is returning integer. So I have to store in integer. Okay, let's see, int d2 is equal to this. And in the next line, I'll simply print it, the value of d2. Right? So z will be given back to obj.div. It will give it to d2. d2 will become 3 now. And I'm printing on the console. Simple. So again, if you run it, it's printing div method and returning 3. Okay, So what is the advantage of function? The advantage of function is that, let's see the advantage of div function, that now this is the standard code we have written for division. Okay, for division we have written this particular standard code. The whatever the value you are passing, it will give you the division. Okay, let's see if you want to call this obj.div one more time. Simple, write obj.div. This time I'm passing, let's see, 50 comma 5. So I want that, okay, what should be the division of 50 comma 5? It should be 10, right? So again 50 will be given to x and 5 will be given to y. Z will become 50 divided by 5, it will become 10. So 10 will be given to obj.div, and I'll store in some integer variable. Let's see, int d3 is equal to this, and I'll print d3, right? And if you run it, see, d3 is 10 now. So whatever the value, you just need to pass the values now. The code, the standard code I have already written. Okay, so I'm not writing this z equal to x divided by again and again. This is only one time activity. I have created this particular function, and now my job is to just call this function. This function will do the respective, okay, work. Got it? Any confusion here?
No.
Bhaja? Yes or no? We can't hear you, Bhaja. Anyways, okay. So this is about functions. Now, one more thing, some properties of functions that we have seen, that I cannot create a function inside a function. Functions are always independent to each other. Functions are always parallel to each other. It means I cannot create a function. Let's see, this is a test function. I cannot create one more function inside a function like this. Public void triple H like this. No, it's not allowed. This is the test function. Inside the function, I cannot create one more function. How can you create a Reebok factory inside a Nike factory? Right? We cannot create. So this is not allowed. So always remember, functions, I cannot create a new, okay, a function inside a function. In this particular main function, that's why I haven't created anything. But I can call a function inside a function. That's why I'm calling obj.test or something like that. I can call that particular function, but I cannot create a new function inside a function. This is not allowed. Okay. Okay. So always remember these three things. You cannot create a function inside a function. It means functions are independent to each other. There is no link between test function and sum function. Both are independent. Okay. Functions are parallel to each other. Mean this is a separate function. This is a separate function. Now we have one more thing. Duplicate functions are not allowed. It means I have created test function. If I create one more function, not allowed. This is also test function. This is also test function. This duplicate functions are not allowed. Okay, two same factories are not allowed. But if you pass any parameter over here, let's say int I, then the error is gone. It means this function is having test, both are same. This is zero parameter. No, it means no parameter. I would say zero parameter. and this is one parameter. Okay, this is allowed. I have to differentiate with parameters. Now again, if I write like this, I'll write, I give one. Now again, this is duplicate. Test function name is same. Again, one parameter. Again, this is duplicate. So I can give like this. I can create one more parameter like mj. Now the error is gone. It means these are two parameters, right? So this is a test function with zero parameter. Same function name, test function with one parameter. Test function is with two parameter. So my function name is same, test, test, and test with zero parameter, one parameter, and two parameter, right? So this concept is called what? Method overloading. Okay, this is called method overloading. Got it? So again, a very famous interview question. What do you mean by method overloading? Method overloading means when in a class, when in the same class, function name is same, function names are same. Okay, I would say like this. Function are having the same name with different parameters is called method overloading. Okay, tests function name is same, but this is zero parameter, this is one parameter, and this is two parameter, right? So this is called method overloading. Make sure function name is same. Okay, method overloading. What is method overriding? We will cover it later. Okay, so this is method overloading. Now you can write like this also. Public void test function. I'm creating string a comma string b. And whatever inside the function you are writing, that doesn't matter, right? So now you can say that why this is not duplicate. This function name is same two parameter, and this is also two parameter. So this is allowed because this function is having two parameter with integer I comma integer j. This test function is again having two parameter, but these are string parameters. Okay, the parameters are different, but same number of parameters are there, but parameters are different. That is also allowed. This is still a method overloading. So always remember, what do you mean by method overloading? Means when within a class function names are same with different parameters or maybe different types of parameters is called method overloading. Okay, any doubt?
Can we return in method overloading? Can we return any data type, Naveen?
So yes, you can.
Like public.
The problem here is, okay, let's see, I'll return something over here. Let's say I want to return 10 directly, and I have to write int over here. Yes, you can return. Okay, so function name is same but with different parameters.
Okay.
This is method overloading. Okay, so guys, this class is very important. This concept is very important, functions and all. Most of the people, they are always confused at, okay, what is function, how to create a function, what is return type, what is object, how to create an object, how to call the functions. Okay, so always remember this particular concept. This is object. Okay, I can ask anytime whenever I'm creating the object of any class, So this is what you have to create, and you can create n number of objects. If you want to create one more object, simple, object name cannot be duplicated. So simple, write obj1. So one more object will be created. So one more newborn baby will be there, right? Like this. So I can create n number of objects with a different name, right? So inside the memory, what will happen? The moment you create obj1, one more object will be created, obj1. Now obj1 will be created. And the same property, test, div, all these properties will be given to this guy also, right? We have, okay, test, div, pqr, sum, and send mail. Okay, all these methods will be given to this guy also. So one copy of all the methods, always remember, the copy of all the methods which are available in this particular class will be given to each and every object. Now you can call obj1.test, obj1.div, like this. Let's see, this is, you can create like this. This is Naveen and this is Tom. You can tell Tom, please read. Tom, okay, read, write, eat, whatever. Same thing with this particular object, you can do that. So you can create n number of objects, but always remember this is the object. Obj is the object name. Naveen is not the object. Naveen is the object name. My body is the object, which is represented by name Naveen. Who is referring me? Naveen, right? My name is Naveen. People know me with my name, right? So always remember this object is represented by obj. Obj is the not the object. This is the object. Obj is just the object name, object reference name. In Java, we say object reference name. Okay. So this is all about functions. Okay, in Java, and method overloading. Okay. So in the next session, we will cover what is static, what is non-static. Okay. So don't worry about why main method is static. I'll tell you later. But why main method is void? It's an interview question. Main method is void because main method does not return any value. Okay, main method does not return any value. That's why main method is always void. I cannot write return a statement inside the main method. Okay, cool. Any doubts?
No, Naveen, I'm fine.
Okay, so that's all for today.